Okay, so we hear Parsha Shlach. We're going to discuss a very interesting topic over here. The pasuk says, "Vayishlach oisam Moshe losers Eretz Canaan vayomer aleim aluza b'Negev." Moshe sent them to go spy on Eretz Canaan, to go check it out, and he told them, "Aluza b'Negev, go in the Negev." So Rashi explains that Hu haya hapsoila shel Eretz Yisrael. This was the psoilus of Eretz Yisrael. Shekin derech hatagorim. This is the way of the peddlers. The marnas hapsoilus tchila. First they show their shvach quality stuff first, and then only afterwards they show the better stuff. The Sifsei Chachomim explains that the Negev is talking about the Negev of Eretz Yisrael, not the Negev of the world, and v'hu chevron shehiktzua lekivri mesim. And this area, which was the psoilus of Eretz Yisrael, is chevron that was designated for burial. V'hu makom hapsoilus shel Eretz Yisrael, and this is the psoilus of Eretz Yisrael. What's the shout over here that they went to Hebron, or that they should pass by Hebron, and he told them, Aluza b'Negev, go to Hebron, which is a place of Kivrei Mesim. Cher is interesting, because Eretz Yisrael would be the place of Chiyus, place of Kedusha, which is the hepech of Misa. So what's going on over here, that he sent them to go dafka in the place of, to pass by the place of Kivrei Mesim. The pashtus is that the Gemara says that Oisayim Tisha B'Av Haya, that day was Tisha B'Av, as the Gemara says on Lamed Hey, and they were Bacha B'Chiyah Shal Chinam, and they cried for no reason because of they were scared from what the Meraglim said, and they were nervous, and the Meraglim, so to speak, broke their spirits, and they got very sad. So Ani Ekva Lechem B'Chiyah Shal Deiris, so I'm going to be Keveh for you, for Klal Yisrael, crying on a yearly basis, which was Tisha B'Av, which ultimately was the day of the Churban Beis Hamikdash Rishon and the Churban Bayis Sheni. And it's more in the Gemara that every year, the night of Tisha B'Av, they would lie down in their kvarim, and then in the morning, many of them wouldn't wake up until the 40th year, till the last year they were in the midbar. Everyone lied down in the kvarim, and they woke up. So they said, "Tamu Gzeira's midbar. There's no more Gzeira. There's no more Gzeira in the midbar." That's number one. Number two, we have the Gemara Soita and Avlam Dalad and Rebbe says, the pasuk later in the parasha says, "Vayalu b'Negev." They went up to the Negev, meaning they followed Moshe Rabbeinu's directions. Vayavoy ad Chevron, and he came until Chevron. Vayavoyuma b'Elei. In fact, the Gemara, it should be a lashon rabbim that they came to Chevron. Why is it Vayavoy? He came to Chevron. Omar Rava says, "Melamed shepirish kolev me'atas meraglim." Rava Kolev separated himself from the eights of the Meraglim. V'holach v'nishtatach al kivrei avos. He went and prostrated himself by the kivrei avos. Omer lahem, he said to them, Avoisai bikshu alai rachamim. My forefathers beseeched mercy for me, and not to my atas Meraglim, that I should be spared and saved from the evil plot of the Meraglim. Yeshua kvar bikish Moshe alav rachamim. Yeshua ben Nun, he was also from the ones that weren't chayte with the Chet Meraglim. Yeshua, Moshe was already Mavakish Rachamim on him. Moshe Rabbeinu was already took care of him that he shouldn't fall into the plot of the Meraglim. Shenemar, the pasuk says, "Vayikra Moshe laHoshea benun Yehoshua," and Moshe Rabbeinu called Yeshua Hoshea benun Yehoshua. He added a yud to his name, and Kol Yoshiyachim Yatzas Meraglim, that Hashem should save him from the plot of the Meraglim. V'hainu d'chsiv, and that's what it means when the pasuk says, "Va'avdi kolev ekev hoser ruach acheres imay." Kolev had a different idea. He had a different program than the rest of the Meraglim. But what's the story over here? Here he went to Hebron. Sounds like nobody else went to Hebron besides for Kolev. Even Yeshua didn't go. What's this story over here? What's going on? So it hit me like this, and this is how I want to explain it. We know that by the Egel, when Klal Yisrael was chayte with the Egel, what got them to do the Avera? So Chazal say that the Satan tried to show them the mita of Moshe Rabbeinu perech ba'avir. Moshe Rabbeinu lying in a bed and saying that Moshe died, you need a new leader. Klal Yisrael needs a new leader. So they said, we need a new leader, so let's make a new leader. So they got involved in this matzav and they made an Egel. But my Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Fruchthandler, always says over, I heard it growing up from my father's old son saying that the pshat is like this. They saw a mita of Moshe Rabbeinu. They saw that Moshe Rabbeinu died. They did not understand it properly. They didn't understand that this was a siman of Eina Torah Niknas El B'Misha Meims Hatzmei Aleha. That this was supposed to be a matzav of where everyone was going to give a tremendous Mesiras Nefesh for Torah, but they misunderstood it. They understood it to mean a Misa, and that there's no more Moshe Rabbeinu. It's all over. No hope, nothing left. So the same is true with the Meraglim. They came to Eretz Yisrael, and they see Eretz Echeles Yeshvecha. They see that everybody's dying. Right? So we'll explain later what's pshat that everybody was dying over there. Everybody was dying. Everybody's dying. Kalev goes to Hebron. Everybody's dying. Pshat is the Meraglim came back and they said there's no hope. This place is a terrible place. There's no hope. It's not worth it. It's a dangerous place. It's bad quality. Everything leads to death in a tremendous way. Big huge people, big huge fruits, very dangerous. Stay away. This is not what we're looking forward to. And there was a lot of death all around. And Kalev says, no, that's not true. That's not how Yidden look at death. Yidden look at death as a temporary matzav. He went to be Mishdateach al Kivri Avos. He went to connect with the Avos. If somebody's dead, how can we connect with them? Pshat is their memory lives on. Their Torah, their Avodah, that lives on. The Avos don't live on. Of course the Avos live on. We say it every 3 times a day in Shemoneh Esrei. Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. We're being masked schus Avos all day, every day. So of course the schus of the Avos lives on. And that's what Kalev saw, what the other Meraglim didn't. They said, oh, we came to land, there's death everywhere. It could be that's true, right? And it could be that it was scary for them. But if they would have been focused with a little more Vayin Taiva, they could have connected to the Misa the way you didn't look at Misa, and not the way that the Velt and the Goyim look at Misa, that Misa is a permanent thing, and there's no more. We believe, we believe that there's such a concept as Tchias HaMesim, and Misa is only a temporary event. So that's the pshat that's the pshat why Kalev went to the Maras HaMachpelah. He went to daven in Hebron. That's very interesting, because who's buried in Hebron? Who's buried in the Maras HaMachpelah? Adam and Chava, Avram and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov and Leah. Rachel's not buried there. Actually, Yalkut Ruveni says that Moshe and Tzipora are also buried in there. So the question is, Lo Yoda Ish Es Kvurasai. So the Teretz Seret maybe is that Lo Yoda Ish, but the Malachim put him there. So, but now we know about it now. So I don't know. We're not here to discuss that. Just an interesting idea to know. So really, what Kalev saw was, it's true that there's Misa, but we look at Misa as a temporary thing. We believe in Tchias HaMesim. The Meraglim, they came back, and what happened is a Bechir Shal Dairos. It caused a destruction of Klal Yisrael. It caused Klal Yisrael to lose so much hope in everything. So even though Misa is a terrible tragedy, but in a sense, if you believe in it and you give hope, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. The Meraglim came back and they destroyed that light at the end of the tunnel. There's no more. It was a tremendous amount of years. This is interesting. The Gemara says in Brachas, on the Avhei, Lo'elam Yarguz Adam Yetzer Teva Yetzer Hara. A person should always try to, that the Yetzer Tov should overpower the Yetzer Hara. If he wins him over, good, Lav Yasik B'Torah. If not, you should be Yasik B'Torah. Nitzchem Mutav, Lav Yikra Kriyishma. Otherwise, he should say Kriyishma. Nitzchem Mutav, if he wins, great. If Lav Yasik Lo Yom HaMisa, he should mention to him the Yom HaMisa. So the Sefer Ach Pri Tvua, a very chashuv sefer from Hershel Lisker, he says that the pshat is like this: Yeshua was matzliach b'schus Torasai, and now Yeshua benun liyamish b'teicha oil. He had the schus haTorah of being mishamish Moshe Rabbeinu. He wasn't going to get messed up by the Meraglim. Kalev was machnia his yetzer by remembering the Yom HaMisa, so he went to Kivrei Avos. But lefi what we're saying, it's a lot more than that. But, and not only that, but there's a kasha that they ask in this Gemara Brachas. Yaskir lo Yom HaMisa. You should mention to him the Yom HaMisa. What does it mean, mention to him the Yom HaMisa? Mention to the Yetzer Hara that one day he's going to be no more. So stop bothering me, because one day you're going to be gone too. The Gemara says in Sukkah, and Dafnan Beis, that what's going to happen is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come and shech the Yetzer Hara. And the tzaddikim are going to cry, and the Rishonim are going to cry. The tzaddikim are going to cry and they're going to say, how were we able to overpower this big, huge mountain? So all the Chassidish Sfarim, all the Sifrei Avodah, all they say over here, that's Aluzah B'Negev. Go up to the Urisa Mesahar and go to the mountain. That mountain is referring to the Yetzer Hara and the Avodah which we're able to which we were able to overpower. And the Risham are also going to cry, the Gemara says, because to them it's going to look like a few threads that we shouldn't have been able to, we didn't have the courage to be able to overpower this. Of course we were able to. So that's why they're Beicha. But the point is, Yazga Lo Yom HaMisa, when you're reminding the Sahar to leave you alone, and he's going to be gone one day too. So, the Gemara says in Bava Basra that Yetzirah, he's the Satan, he's the Malach HaMavis, he's a one-man job of causing destruction, causing Misa, causing Averis, causing all the tragedy in the world is all being caused by this same Malach. It's all one thing. See, the Meraglim come back and they say, we saw all these things, and it caused a tremendous amount of Misa. There was a tremendous Yetzirah. So Kalev and Yeshua had to protect themselves tremendously from the Yetzirah. And a lot of people learned that Kalev's pshat is that originally he was going to go with the Meraglim, but then he decided that it's not worth it, and he made this detour to Kivrei Avos, and that's how he was saved. But the point is that even like the Ashpri Tvua says, that the pshat is that Yeshua was able to be Mizgaber b'Kech Terosai. Kalev was able to be Mizgaber by Yazga Lo Yom HaMisa, but if what we're saying, it's even better than that, because it's even more than that, because what Yazga Lo Yom HaMisa is, you're telling the Yetzirah, remain calm, stay put. You're not all that great after all. You're going to come to the end one day too. Okay, that's that. He goes to Hebron to be Mishtatech al Kivrei Avos. Rabbeinu Bechai says in Parshas Chayei, when the whole Ezek of Avram Avinu trying to buy the Ma'aras HaMachpelah from Ephron Achiti, he says like this: another reason why we could say Kiryas Arba is Hebron. He nikras Hebron al Shem Shekol HaKover Shom Nafshoy Mischaberet L'mayla B'ira L'kim Im Arba Machne Shechina. That anybody who's buried there, their nefesh is attached L'mayla to the Ira L'kim, and with all four Machne Shechina. V'lei L'chinam Chemdua Avos Ha'olam. And it's not for naught that Avos Ha'olam had tremendous desire to be buried in Hebron. Elo Shemisham Zeiches Haneshamos L'Schaber L'Shar Sham Shukisi HaKavod V'zeh Kiryas Arba Hi Hebron. Hebron is the lashon of Chibur, and that's what the Avos wanted, and that's what Kalev was trying to attach himself to also. Kalev wanted to attach himself to this because he believed in Tchias HaMesim, and not like the Meraglim, that they were keveh for themselves, the Bechil L'Dairis, and they died in their Kvarim, and they didn't have this. For some reason, the Meraglim came back with this concept that caused a detachment from the great Chibur, which is Hebron. And a fascinating thing, the Rebbe Vadim Bar Tanur writes in a letter when he went to Eretz Yisrael. He says like this: "Lo yisi os b'Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh." I was not in Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh. Ki halachti leChevron. I went to Hebron v'garti b'yomim rabim, and I dwelled there for many days. Ad asher hoisi yeshivas chaviv alai kemat yosim Yerushalayim. And when I was living there, it was beloved to me just about more than living in Yerushalayim. Liyos haYehudim b'ma'at v'tovim, a small group of good quality Jews, become meseres biyad kol anshe haaretz ki hakvura b'Chevron tovim b'Yerushalayim. There's a mesera in the biyad kol anshe haaretz. All the people here believe in this, that the kvura in Hebron is greater than the kvura in Yerushalayim, which is a really fascinating thing. There is a chazal that says that Tchias HaMesim will start from the Ma'aras HaMachpelah. That's because the Avos, that's where the Adam Rishon is, that's where the Avos are, that's where the Shurashim of Klal Yisrael is. That's what makes most sense for Tchias HaMesim, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to renew the world, in the sense that there's not going to be any more Misa after the Shechita Yetzirah, after there's a Bir Hara and Gansen, and the world is going to be standing by its ultimate tikkun. It only makes sense that the Adam Rishon and the Avos, they're going to be the ones that are going to get up first. What about Yeshua ben Nun in this whole story? Where does he fit in? Where was he when Kalev was by Hebron? L'chari, they should have went together. What was going on? So, how did he make sure that he wasn't going to get schlepped into the years that the Meraglim were bringing about? So it's brought down in Svarim that Yehoshua, Yud Hei Vav Shin Ayin, is Rosh Tevis Yekimun Hakitzu V'Ranenu Sheichne Ofar, which is a pasuk that talks about what's going to happen by Tchias HaMesim, that all the Sheichne Ofar, all those that are dwelling in the dirt, are going to get up. And there's a fascinating sefer called Torah Shalom, a very deep sefer full of gematrias and all kinds of lamdas, all kinds of deep and heavy thoughts on the parsha. He brings from the Oiv Yisrael, the El Gab Zerav, he brings from the Oiv Yisrael and the Likutim, that it says in the Medrash that by Tchias HaMesim, how's Tchias HaMesim going to work? Tchias HaMesim is going to work, I'll say they're Aleph Beis. People with Aleph, they're going to wake up first, Beis, Gimel, Daled, Chulu. And he brings another Medrash, somebody who's humble, he's also going to get up earlier by Tchias HaMesim. So the Oiv Yisrael explains that this is the pshat in the Targum Yonasan, on the pasuk of Vayikra Moshe LaHoshea Benun Yehoshua. The Targum Yonasan says, "Kadchama Moshe an Vasnusei Kar LaHoshea Benun Yehoshua." When Moshe saw the humility of Hoshea Benun, he changed his name to Yehoshua. Chera, what does Anova have to do with this? What does Anova have to do with this? And the Gemara says that this was a tefillah that he should be nitzel from that Tzaddik Meraglim. So why is Anova the key over here? So the Oiv Yisrael explains that when Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to change his name to Yeshua, that his name should start with a Yud, he said that maybe Yeshua is going to have tiny some that Allah said love it by Tchias HaMesim. He's not going to get up when Hey is called. He's going to get up when Yud is called. He's going to be much later on the list. But the pshat is, when he saw his anivos and he saw that how humble he was and he was willing to take anything on, Befrat, to stick up for the cover of Moshe Rabbeinu and the cover for the emissary cover for Klal Yisrael and for Kvod Shemayim. So then he said he was able to add the Yud to his name. He won't even mind waking up later by Tchias HaMesim because that's the key over here. That's the Anova. So that's why he was able to call him Hoshea Benun Yehoshua. And so there's a Gemara Shabbos that says that the Gemara is darshaning the different letters of the Aleph Beis. And the Gemara says, also, the children came now to the Beis Medrash. They were saying a Torah that even in the days of Yeshua ben Nun, they weren't learned. What do you mean in the days of Yeshua ben Nun, they weren't learned? Why Yeshua ben Nun? Say, from Moshe Rabbeinu, generally we say, what's Yeshua ben Nun? But the pshat is that there's a certain seder of Aleph Beis, which was very important to Yeshua because it's going to affect his role in Tchias HaMesim. So that's why the Gemara says that the Aleph Beis that we're talking about in this Gemara, the Aleph Beis that we're referring to over here is this Kol Yoshiyachim Yatzas Meraglim, is that Aleph Beis which is going to be by Tchias HaMesim, which is going to give Yeshua which is coming from Yeshua's Anivus, which is going to allow him to be later on the list, so to speak. And to continue along this idea, the Gemara Sanhedrin says inside the Aleph on the base that one of the rayas that Tchias HaMesim in a Torah is Az Yashir Moshe Shar Lo Nemar Ela Yashir. The fact that there's a Yud, the Yud is obviously the smallest of all the Isis, and it's Moira on Lashon Asid. And the Gemara Saita says that they called Yeshua Reish Ketia. Pashtus to the Gemara means that because he didn't have children. And the Aruch explains that he was called Reish Ketia because the beginning of his name was cut off because the Yud is very small. And the Yud is also Miramis to Chachma, HaChachma Me'ayin Timatzeh, because the Chachma could only be found by somebody that's Anaf, like the Gemara says in Psachim, Samach Vav, Amr Beis, Kol HaMisyaher, Chacham Hu Chachmas HaMisalek. If a person is a Balgaiva, his Chachma gets lost. And the Gemara Saita says on Daf Hey, Amr Belazah Kol Adam Sheish Begasas Ruach Ein Afar Ninar. A person who's a Balgaiva, his Afar doesn't wake up by Tchias HaMesim, Shenemar Hakitza V'ranan Sheichne Afar, Bi Afar Lenemar Ela Sheichne Afar, only somebody who becomes a neighbor, who acts as if he's afar in his lifetime, that's a person who's going to be zeichet to Tchias HaMesim. Yeshua exemplified this midah of anivos, and with the dafko with the ois yud. So the yud from Yeshua is the same yud that's the yud for Yashir, and that's being miramis to Tchias HaMesim. So Sharlai Namar Ala Yashir, so Yeshua is going to have a big role by Tchias HaMesim also. The interesting Zach about, let's get back to the Mars HaMachpelah and Tchias HaMesim over here a little bit. We know that Sarah died from the B'sura of the Akedah. So it doesn't mean, the way we explain it, the way we would like to understand it, as a general rule, the pashtus is, she heard about the Akedah, it was too much for her, she was an older woman already. So, Parcha Nishmasa, her neshama left her. He was shechted. But the pshat is, Rav Hutner used to explain it as follows. The Avos are here to change the world. And what happened was that when a Yid dies, like we explained before, when a Yid dies, it's only a temporary thing. It's not a permanent thing. So in order for the first Yid to die, we need to have Tchias HaMesim. And it says by the Akedah, it says in Pirkei Rebbe Lezer that when Yitzchak went on the Mizbeach, it was Parcha Nishmasai, his Neshama Taka left him, and when he got off the Mizbeach, he made a bracha of Baruch Mechai HaMesim. The first bracha in Shemoneh Esrei is Mogen Avram, that's a bracha, Keneged Avram Avinu. The second bracha is Keneged Yitzchak, it's Gvur's Kishamim, it's the Mid of Gvura, it's the Mid of Yitzchak, and it's also the bracha of Tchias HaMesim. And that's the pshat that Sarah died because of the Akedah. Only once there's a insurance that by Yidden there's Tchias HaMesim, only then was a Shayach Misa. So that's why Sarah died from the Besura of the Akedah, because now she has Tchias HaMesim. So L'char is very interesting. What's this business over here? So where does the Maras HaMachpelah come from? Why did Avram Avinu want the Maras HaMachpelah in Hebron? What was going on? So when the Malachim came to visit Avram Avinu after the Milah, so it says Ela Bakar Rotz Avram. Avram ran to the Bakar to try to catch them, to shech them, to feed the guests, the Malachim. And one of the Bakar ran away. And where did it run to? It ran to the Maras HaMachpelah. And Avram Avinu was there, and he felt the Kedusha there, and he said, this is the place. As I state in Chazal. So the Shem Yishmael explains in Parshas Sarah that, what's the pshat over here? So he explains that Avram Avinu was standing by the entranceway to the Me'ara, and it was Niftach Le Pesach Gan Eden. And he says, this is where it's at. This is the place where I got to be buried. So the Shem Yishmael says that every Pesach, every doorway, is an in-between state. You can either go inside, you can either go outside. And like we explained last week with Le Pesach Hatas Revetz, that there's always a new opportunity, there's always somebody standing outside the door, the Yetzer Hara is always standing outside the door to make problems. The Gemara Shabbos explains the halacha. They have a eskufa. You have a step right outside the door. So the Gemara says it's Mishamesha Shnei Rishuyos. It serves two purposes. Pesach Pasuach Kilifnim. The door opens inwards, so then it's attached to the inside Rishus. But if the door opens outwards, then you know that it's attached to the outside Rishus. So this is the concept of the Ma'aras HaMachpelah, that it's the intermediary between this world and Gan Eden. So that's why it's in Hebron, which is the Chibur, which is Mechaber, the Alma Iloah and the Alma Tata, our world and the upper world. And the pshat is that it's called Machpelah. It's Machpelah, the Gemara says, is Shakfula Bezugais. The Gemara says in Erev and Daf and Gimel, Shakfula Bezugais, as double pairs of couples. Who's the couples? Adam and Chava, Avram and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov and Leah. What's the lumdus over here? But the pshat is that the Gemara says that the Chibur Bein Ish ve'Isha is with the letters. Ish has, both are Ish. Ish and Isha. Ish has the letter Yud in it, Aleph Yud Shin. You take out the Yud, it's Ish. And Isha has a Hey at the end. You take away the Hey, and it's Ish. But the pshat is that the letters Yud and the letter Hey, that's what's making it not be Ish. As I state in Gemara and Rashi in Sait and Daf Yud Zayin. The Gemara says in Menachos and Daf Chav Tesam at base, Ki b'kah Hashem tzur elam. That Olam Haba was nivra with the Ois Yud, and Olam Hazeh was nivra b'Hei. And together, the Shem Ka is this Shem of Hashem that's ma'achid all the Olamas. And the understanding of this is the Metzius of that even in this world, which is full of Gashmis and full of all kinds of Averis and all kinds of bad things, Al Kapanim, if we can be mashrish within this world, Kedusha, and that's the pshat in the Gemara, that Ish Isha Zachu Shechina Beinayim. It's the same Oisiyos that are Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Ish Isha, two complete opposites. You're putting them together, what shaychus. But the pshat is that's the koyach of this shame, that only with the koyach of the shame, only with the koyach of the shame ka, the Yud and the Ish and the Hey and the Isha, that's how it's shaykh to make this marriage work. And that's what's happening with Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Also these two letters. And not only that, but that's the pshat in the shame of Ko Yosh Yachim Yatzas Meraglan. This same exact name of the Shem Hashem, which is Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. This memutza, this intermediary that's going to connect, this bridge that's going to bridge the gap between Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba, that is the Maras HaMachpelah. And that's, so even though Yeshua didn't go to the Maras HaMachpelah, he had the same chibur, because he had the same ka attached to his name. So he became a metzias of this connection that he didn't have to worry about getting schlepped into the Atzas and the Meraglim. The Meraglim were very nervous. The big chalik of what the Chet and Meraglim was, because they knew that when they were going to come to Eretz Yisrael, they weren't going to be the Nisim anymore, and they were going to lose their status in Ruchni is very stark. And the pasuk says, when the Tatum Kalates, they have to go and they have to be busy with the land. Busy with the land. I want to live a life of Kedusha. I want to live a life of complete Ruchnius. We want to continue eating the mun. We want an Anei HaKavod. We're going to come to Eretz Yisrael. We're not going to have these madregas anymore. It's not worth it. So that's why they said, no, Eretz Yisrael, big fruits, a lot of work in the land. We don't want. We want to stay. We want to stay in the world of Ruchnius. So Moshe gave Yeshua this Shem Ka, which is the Kayach to be Mechaber, the Tu'elamis, and that's Kayach Sheach Metzas Meraglim. But it gets even better because the Yerushalmi says in Sanhedrin like this: Taner Reb Hoshea, Yud Shanatal Me'imenu Sarah. Where does this Yud come from? This Yud came from Sarah Imenu's name. Why? Because what was her name before Sarah? Before her name got changed to Sarah, Sarai. So that Yud got replaced with a Hey. And it goes like this. Yud Shanatal Me'imenu Sarah, Ola ben Ishtatech L'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It went and prostrated itself in front of Hashem. V'omar Ribono Olamim, Master of the world. Akartani min haTzadekas hazois. You uprooted me from the Tzadekas, Sarah. Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Seilacha l'shavar ha'yisonos m'shem nekeva. Originally, you were in the name of a nekeva, u'b'seif teva, and at the end of a word, Chayecha shani naisencha b'shem zachor u'b'roish teva. I promise you, I'm going to give you to a Zachar, which would be Yeshua, and at the beginning of a word. And that's Hadahu Dechseva Yikra Moshe Lahishea ben Yeshua. So this is the concept of Ish V'Isha Zachu Shechina Beinei. This Segula that Moshe Rabbeinu gave to Yeshua with Koyo Sheach Metzas Meraglim, that's exactly why Kalev went to be Mishtateach by the Kivrei Avos, by the Mor Samach Pela, and to be Mevakesh Mishene Chevron, which is in Chevron, which is the place of the Mor Samach Pela, which is the Chibur of the two Olamas. And it's very interesting because like this, it says in the Balaturim, Ba'alisam Es Hahar. Es Hahar is Gematria Torah. Shetam Lahem Zchus Torah. And they went to Chevron, which is a lashon of Kalev. At least went to Chevron, which is a Chibur La Torah, because the Torah is what's mechaber everything. And the lashon of Sfas Emes is like this: V'apir shchaver gam ken kanal. Shatam l'chacham kol ma'asav nemshach ma'achar haTorah. V'yesh ba'as musa chibur la Torah. The one who's mechuber to the Torah is a tam l'chacham. But the point really is that this Koyesh Yachim Yatzas Meraglim is a pshat that's the Yeshua had it from his name. Kalev had it from being Mishatech L'Kariyavos. It doesn't mamish answer the question 100% of why this one was Zeicha this way and why the other one was Zeicha to get the Madrega the other way. But upon him, either one, Sai Yeshua and Sai Kalev, both got this Madrega of Kibika Hashem Tzurei Lamim, that they went with this mind that they shouldn't be nichshel in the Chet and Meraglim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bench us that we should be zeicha, that this year we should have a kitzur and a sheikh offer by Tisha B'Av, we should be zeicha to the binyan by Sashlishi B'Meher V'Ameinu Amen.